Testing. Testing, testing. All right, mic's working. Sweet. Brooklyn! Brooklyn. Oh, we gotta do the thing before everyone else joins, since Brooklyn was here first. Can we get Brooklyn Uno a membership? Hey, went to Brittany Rich. Not Brooklyn, but went to Brittany. Louisa! Marie! Yeah, I've been gone for 3 weeks. I have been gone for 3 whole weeks, and I feel like ages. Sheila, hey, Mama Can't Care. How y'all doing? It's been a minute. I truly do miss you all. Also, today's stream will be fairly short just because I'm getting old. I know some of you in chat are my age, or a little older too. I might look, for those that know what I look like in person, I look like I'm 20. But, Raven, how you doing? I look like I'm 20, but I'm almost 40. And this is the 3rd time I visited Japan. And this time I truly felt my age. Brings! Thank you for, oh my God, thank you for the 2 years and, did I do that right? 12 months in a year. 2 years and 1 month. 64-year-old. Listen, Copper. So Shirley, you're about to understand a lot of stuff I'm about to share. Those that don't know, I was away in Japan for 2 weeks. I got some stories for you all. There's one story I want to share in the beginning, just before anybody else leaves, because I think it's one of the funniest stories ever, and I'll share it again before the end of the stream for everyone that come in late. Brian. Were you there for the Pokemon? Just the first day. And I'll talk about Pokemon in a second as well. Because we have videos coming out. I just gotta figure out how to edit it. I'm 42, but don't look at thanks to, yeah, hey Raven, me too. I'm Asian too. Okay. So I got a quick short story and we'll dive into what I plan to do for the stream while we talk. Asian gang. So, those that don't know about Japan culture, all right? So, this is for the folks that have never been to Japan. It's a very quiet, respectful culture. Like, when you go on the trains, for example, I'm assuming this is the case for Europe, Australia, Africa, and everywhere else. It gets noisy. It's normal for everyone to talk, right? Especially in America. When you go to New York subways, everyone's talking. They're trying to sell you stuff. You got music blasting. But in Japan, it is quiet. And that was the culture. I knew this is the 3rd trip. I knew that was the culture. And what happened was when we flew from JFK, so New York, to Tokyo, we actually need to go to, let me show you all. Hold on. Can I share my screen? Hold on. Let me show you all a map real quick. Let's see if I can get this working. It's been a minute since I streamed, so bear with me. I truly did miss you all. I was trying to stream at one point over in Japan, but that was not happening. Japan map. Raven, you going? Hey, Raven. I got some tips for you. So, let's see if we can pull up a big old map of Japan. What the heck? Why is it green screen? I have no idea why it's green screen. All right, so we landed in Tokyo. And we needed to get to Osaka. So what happened is we had to do a layover. So we landed in Tokyo and we were graciously in a lounge. So we didn't have to be with the commoners. I'll be honest, the lounge is nice. It's not all that. But we were in the lounge. Christian! And this was not like an American lounge. Relative, oh, copper. I was playing it over there. This is not an American lounge. This is a Japanese lounge. And by Japanese, imagine how big of a room should I explain it? The room was enough to have, I want to say, at least 300 people standing shoulder to shoulder, to give you an idea. Imagine 3 people standing, 300 adults, grown adults standing shoulder to shoulder is how big this lounge room is. And there was at least maybe 100 people in there. It was quiet in there. Like all you hear was the chairs moving, people eating. There was even a booth dedicated to like phone calls, so you didn't disturb everybody. That's how quiet it is. I'm emphasizing how quiet it was in there. Yeah, they still are copper. It's actually normal, even before the whole pandemic thing. It's normal to wear a mask. Amen to quiet. America could take a listen. We'll talk. We need to do a politics stream one day. Just one political stream. Just one political stream. For me to literally just say to the rest of the world, sorry on behalf of America. Because I feel like the United States is beyond isolated right now. But we're not going to get into that right now. We're not going to get into that. Jenny! 15, oh my god, thank you for the 15 months! Jenny. Hold on, this is my attempt. Oh yeah, I forgot my VTuber can't do a heart. I hope you're doing well. I know they had a huge pandemic that we never had, so we're doing it before we were. Yeah. So Jenny, before you came in, I'm talking about the trip to Japan. We landed in Tokyo. We needed to do a layover to go to Osaka, and we were in a lounge, right? Hey, Classy! Thank you. Thank you for coming by. So in this lounge, thank you so much, Classy. Classy Crystal Cozy Gamer. In this lounge, everyone is super quiet. And there's a reason why I'm emphasizing everyone was super quiet. It has to do with the story. Yours truly, we just landed. And quite frankly, I had to go run to the bathroom. Cool. I ran to the bathroom. Not like full on like marathon running, but you know, it was faster than a jog. And those that don't know me, I'm 6'2". And I ran into this Japanese guy who was a lot shorter than I was, and I almost knocked him over. All right. So in Japan, bow. So, oh no, that's bow. How do you spell bow? You know what I'm talking about? Bow, like you bow your body. On a bow body. Okay, never mind. That's bull body. How do you say it so that I don't get in trouble? Bowing. Thank you. Bowing. Okay. So, bowing apology. Thank you. None of y'all just saw what came up on screen. We're gonna ignore that. So, depending on how sincere and how apologetic the situation is of your apology, the deeper the bow. All right. So the more you're apologizing, the deeper the bow. I learned that on my second trip. My first trip, I was ignorant. So I hit a full, forget 90 degrees brings. I went as low as possible. I went to the point where I saw my shoes low. Like my right above my head right here, I bent this far. And in Japanese, it's sumimasen. Sumimasen is the equivalent of excuse me, or in certain situations, I'm sorry. So I was just saying sumimasen, sumimasen over and over as I'm bowing. On the second sumimasen, I farted. And I'm not talking like a, it was a loud. So you all are having a different reaction than the guy did. See, I think if I had done that, if y'all didn't know me, right? If y'all didn't know me and I did that, I'm assuming, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming the bulk of you in chat would laugh or giggle. The guy didn't giggle at all. His face looked mortified. His face was, oh, what was the, hold on. Nervous emoji with teeth. Forget about the trip I'm going on. This was his face, roughly. Roughly, this was his face. Like, I hate to say it, but that was just the start of everything. That was just the start of the beginning of the trip. Because there's more to this. What felt like in my head was a 1 hour event was probably realistically a 5-minute event. Because it continues. This is just the first 10 seconds of a 5-minute event. So the guy looked mortified. He didn't laugh. I looked at his eyes directly for a second. Tron could never set foot back in Japan again. I looked at his eyes for a second. His face looked mortified. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And as I said, I'm sorry. This time I said it in English. Because when you get nervous, when you get nervous, your real self comes out. So I switched from sumimasen to I'm sorry. I clenched my butt cheeks because I felt more coming out. So I know everybody at home has done this. You have felt that urge to just, let it loose once, but you clench your butt cheeks. So I said, I'm sorry. And I took off to the bathroom. As I'm taking off, every step I take, a little toot came out. So it went from, so I'm so sorry. I just gotta go to the bathroom to I wish I had cameras rolling because I need to know what people behind me were they looking at me? Were they laughing? Were they just trying to mind their own business? I don't know what was going on behind my head because in front of me was just an empty hallway at that point. There was nobody. It was just the hallway. So all I saw was a blank wall and I was just running through the bathroom. I'm dying laughing. I'm getting scared. To this day, my imagination is wild. All right, my imagination is wild. So in my head, I know they didn't do this. I highly doubt they did this. But in my head, all I just pictured was all the Japanese folks and some of the tourists back there just pointing at me like, ah, you did the thing. So the area we went to, because I was such in a rush. Japanese bathroom signs. Hold on. I didn't look at the symbol here. Y'all see where I'm going with this. I didn't look at the symbol. All I saw was letters. In my state of panic, having to use the bathroom, doing what I just did, I ran to the first bathroom I saw in the stall I saw. Not realizing after I did my business, I heard chatter. And I was like, huh, those are really high-pitched voices. And I was like, oh God. Here's the one benefit of being in a Japanese bathroom. If this happened in any place on earth, Japanese bathrooms are the best because Japanese toilet sink. Every single bathroom in Japan, almost, they have one of these things. I wish we had it in America. They have a place you can wash your hands above the toilet, so that way you're not wasting water. So talk about, efficiency. So you can wash your hands after you do your business. The water drains into the and you flush right into the toilet anyways. So it's efficient. So I was able to wash my hands. And what I did was I waited till I heard no sounds of walking, and I quickly ran out of the bathroom. This was the span of the first 2 minutes. That was 2 minutes, and I told you there's a 5-minute story to the beginning of the trip. So after I left the bathroom, thankfully, nobody saw me. I'm assuming there's nobody saw me. Hold on, let me pull up Canva so I can give you all a layout. Let's make a copy. We're gonna go in here. Hold on. We are gonna delete this click, delete this, delete this. We're just gonna use boxes. I need to give you all a visual. So imagine this, the big giant lounge, all right? There's a green screen. Black. All right, and we're gonna label this the hallway. This is the tiny hallway. Ooh. That went from the lounge to the outside area. So we're sitting here, and this is where roughly I ran into the guy. And I ran into the guy because of this stupid angle here. There was a blind spot. So this is how I hit the guy. And this area here is just decorated so everyone can see this part. And then what happened is, let me do one of these things real quick. We're gonna do purple. This is where the bathroom was. So that's why I ran from here, ran in, incident happened. Stacy! You missed a hilarious farting story, Stacy. So this is where I came in, ran to the Japanese guy, bumped into him, apologized, farted by accident, ran to the bathroom, and ran to the women's stall by accident. So that's the bathroom. All right, I need to give you all a picture. All right, we're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna change this to dark orange. What happens is this is your check-in area over here. So all you need to know is, this is roughly the layout. I'm hoping this makes sense to everybody. So you have a special staircase that took you from the airport downstairs area to the check-in area, and you can go down here to get your stuff or go to the bathroom. So there was also another area. This comes into play in a second. Let's change this to dark blue for water. This has to do with water. There's this special area over here. Trying to walk disaster in the waiting. There's definitely a picture of Tron getting wet. No, it gets worse. I need to know what you all would have done. This part of the story, I genuinely need to know what you all would have done. So what happens is this. Not all lounges, but some lounges you can actually take a shower. So imagine you had, our flight was 14, 15 hours long roughly. So imagine if you took a 14, 15 hour flight. Besides a bed in your room, the best thing you can have ever is a shower, right? A nice clean shower, get all your sweat out, change fresh to clothes. So when we checked in originally, we were able to ask for a shower. That's this blue area. And what happens, it's on the corner. You were given like a ticket thingy. And so what happened was, this is the chain of events here. Went in, checked in, said we would like to shower, put our stuff down, I had to run, use the bathroom. This, like I said, this is the first 5 minutes of this whole thing. I would just go home, the trip is over. I ran here, bumped into the guy, that happened, went to the bathroom, that happened. That's the first 2 minutes. As I'm leaving the bathroom, I'm just gonna put a picture of staff. One of the staff members, yeah, we're gonna go with this person, approaches me, intercepts me out here. I thought it was the whole women's bathroom situation she was going to talk to me about. She actually said, in broken English, because obviously it's Japan, like along the lines of, your shower is ready. So I said, oh, thank you. So I ran. I'll pretend Where's a picture of me at? Who's gonna be me? I'm just gonna pretend this person's me. I don't think y'all are ready for what I'm about to share with you all. I don't think you're ready for what's about to happen. I'm sure those... Wow, we'll have everything and we're not surprised. So I was like, oh, thank you. So she went back to her space over here at the desk. And I ran back to my wife. And I told my wife, hey, so the shower's ready. Do you want to go first? She said, no, you can go first. Cool. So I put all my stuff, my phone, my keys, everything behind, because I just need to go take a shower. I don't need any of my stuff with me. So all I took with me was my, what'd you call it? A bar soap, essentially. And I didn't even need that. We're here for the ride. So I just took bar soap. I was just gonna, change it to the same clothes. So I walked over here, asked where it was, and she said it was over here. So I didn't know the ticket she gave me had a room number on there. So I'm trying to figure out, there's 5. So what happened was, and this is just the minor part of the story. There's like different shower rooms, right? And one thing I noticed, there was a total of 5, if I remember correctly. This one I'm not entirely sure about. It was about a total of 5 rooms. This is the minor part. It's very minor right here. And there was also a small little room over here at this side. I noticed it was the custodial's room. This comes into play later. So I just assumed, with my luck, it's just better to go to the first room. And surprise, surprise, everything is in Japanese. Everything. There, unlike the bathroom here, there was no symbols. Everything was in Japanese. And I left my phone behind, so I didn't have a translator thingy going on. You know, like those that have what you call it, Google Translate. You can point your phone at Japanese characters or any other language and translate it to your language. I didn't have that. So I was trying to get into the first room, not realizing there was a sign on the door that said pretty much along the lines of the room is in use. Thanks, Stacy. This is, like I said, this is a very minor part of the story. Clearly, there was somebody in there. I already had my situation with Mr. Whatever down here. I could hear a little frantic coming from this stall here. I wasn't sure the person there was a tourist. I wasn't sure that person was a native Japanese. I wasn't sticking to find out. By the stroke of luck, I just quickly ran into the next room. And thankfully, 1, that was actually the right room. And 2, it was unlocked. And I could hear, the rooms were well insulated enough. When this person left from this room to go out to inspect what was going on with the ruckus that I was causing, I could hear them mumbling or something. So, minor part of the story. So all I knew was there was someone in this room being used. I went in here. Okay, so at this point, not an issue. Shower, not an issue. I'm used to Japanese like bathrooms at this point. I know how to operate the shower heads and stuff. So it was the aftermath of the shower that was my issue. The clothes I wore was dirty, right? Rich, hey, thank you. Glad to be back. I forgot my fresh clothes were with my wife. Not an issue. I was gonna, but something happened. I'm not gonna go too into detail, but let's just say all I had at the moment, because somehow things shifted in the room without me knowing. And all I had was a towel. About yay big. Hey Kelly, enjoy your trip. About yay big. I didn't know what to do. I genuinely didn't know what to do in my current situation of only having a towel. And I had another towel that was, used. And I wasn't sure where to put that either. So I had a lot of questions. The room Jenny brings had a machine that would rotate and clean your stuff. My clothes was in that stuff that rotated. For those that are going to Japan, be careful. Just read signs. Make sure your phone's always with you and have everything translated. And don't assume. Assumption is the worst. So I'm not sure what you all would have done in that moment, but I opened the door and Joey's man from there. And with my tiny little towel, I approached the custodial staff. And the only Japanese I know to this day, unfortunately, despite having 3 trips, was konnichiwa, which is hello. Sumimasen, which I said earlier, was excuse me or I'm sorry. And arigato, which is thank you. And it was very clear this guy spoke no English. It took probably a minute, a solid minute of going back and forth with me in the hallway with the towel on, trying to explain to him what happened. Well, at least it was it was small with Mama Cat. It was small. No, Brinks, I did try talking English. You ever have that look when you're talking to somebody and they clearly didn't understand you? That was the look the guy gave me. So it was very evident English was not going to work. Hey, Yuri! How are you doing? Long story short, the guy went back into the bathroom trying to figure out what I was saying. Flipped the switch, got me my clothes, and begrudgingly, I'm sure it wasn't his best day either, took the towel from me because I wasn't sure where to put the towels. So he took all the towels and just shoved it into his car. I think along the lines of he pretty much said, "Dang tourist." So after that whole 5-minute incident, I ran back to my wife and said, "Hey, your shower's up." And I told her the story of what happened. And I told her the room is on the ticket where she was going to shower. That was when I landed in Japan. Let me tell you all about what happened as we got to the airport in the first place to get to Japan. Koro! How are you? This is a very minor story, but it set the mood and tension for the whole entire trip. Y'all ever wake up any day of the week, like you ever just like wake up and you just know something happens, like you bumped your foot on the bed stool or ran into a table by accident or dropped something, you're like, this is not going to be a good day. This minor event, very, very minor, honestly, was the triggering catalyst for me to know, like, all right, this trip is not going to be the best, most likely. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Tattooing. Oh, hey, wait, what you tattooing? Gets worse or better? Did your wife? More than I did, Rich. She speaks more than I did, but not that much. Not the blood for the whole trip. I'm all in the mood. So before the Japan trip, my wife and I went to Costco. When you go on an airplane, generally speaking, you want to wear, you know, comfy clothes. You're gonna be on for a while, right? So we got the same sweatpants. I learned something about women's fashion during this part of the trip. Tattooing some stuff from, what is Baldur's Gate? It sounds like a game. That sounds fun. Show me a picture. So I found out, I'm almost 40. I just found out that women's clothes, mainly, I'm not gonna say clothes, the pants for women's are either have fake pockets. I can't believe that's a thing. 2, if they do have pockets, they are the smallest pockets on earth. Leo, how are you doing, buddy? My daughter played that for weeks on end so she could be all the characters. What is... Okay, I have to Google that in a bit. Baldur's Gate 3. Is it a multiplayer game? Hate the fake pockets, give me real ones. Yep, Krista. I love when women find out about women's pockets. Oh, that's old news? Well, that was new news to me. Because I had a lot of stuff in my pocket on the ride to the airport. It was only when we got dropped off and we went to check in at the airport that I get an alert. For those that have Apple products, if you have the Find My feature, all your devices are connected to each other. It will alert you when you leave something behind, or in my case, when your headphones is no longer with you. So like I said, no headphones, minor issue. But it was enough for me to say, like, yep, this is not a good sign. You have to play it. Incredible game. I'll send pics. I'm finally fit. Hey! And when you do have pockets, they are. Yep. I stuck my hands into those pockets trying to find my headphones and realized how small they actually were. And what I think, my wife says it's unisex. I think those pants were women's size only. Wait, what is Baldur's Gate? Baldur's Gate. What is this? This looks like World of Warcraft. This genuinely looks like World of Warcraft. Oh. This genuinely looks... Those that don't know, this is a game I used to play, like, hardcore. Way back in my college days in 2010. World of Warcraft. That game, Baldur's Gate. It's like a dungeon crawler, Dungeons & Dragons. Oh. I'm going to try that out. Depends on how much. It's kind of overspent in Japan. So that was the start of the trip. I want to share with you a story that happened in the middle of the trip. Where is... I'm going to pull up a picture of Japan. Japan. And let me get a picture of Europe. I want to show you an overlap of how big Japan is compared to Europe. We're going to put Europe. Japan is roughly, this is being an estimate right now, I think Japan is roughly like this big in relation to Europe. Sure, this trip went somewhat well. Certain parts yes, certain parts no. to give you all an idea, so those from Europe, you can get a rough idea of the length of Japan versus Europe. There's a reason I'm sharing this with you all. There was a point where we took a train. It's definitely smaller. Oh, how smaller? Japan, Europe, overlay. Oh, okay. So let's just copy this image real quick. And we're going to delete this. We're going to delete this. Oop. And boom. Japan and Europe. Those are not familiar with Japan trains. You have your local subways. I think every single country has one of those. Your trains in... I don't know if this is exclusive to Japan. There might be in some other countries. But they have something called the bullet train. Bullet train. Alright. These things are fast. These things are fast. Like, extremely fast. I believe just in Japan? Okay. So, this is a little pro tip for anybody that ever wants to travel to Japan or will be traveling to Japan. As tourists, you can get something called a JR pass. Basically, Japan Railroads pass as a tourist. Because for locals, you have to pay per trip, right? But in Japan, you can pay this pass for an X amount of fee, and you can use the bullet train as much as you want during your certain time day slot that you book. So if you activate it from today, you can use it till like the end of March if you do it for like the full month. In our case, we just activated for, I think it was maybe 6-7 days, I think. They're the only country that has the fastest train. Ah. So, there's a reason why I'm sharing this with you all. We took full advantage of the bullet train. Like, if you ever go to Japan, please get a JR pass. Get it activated, and you can use this bad boy everywhere. And that, because we were able to go from here to here to here to here, everywhere, right? I quickly learned one disadvantage about the bullet train during this trip. One thing nobody ever considers. JR pass is a lifesaver, but it needs to be purchased outside. Yes! Yuri is correct. You do need to purchase outside Japan. So, I found out the one big disadvantage of the bullet train, mainly for tourists. So, in America, and I'm assuming Europe and everywhere else is the same, if you get onto the wrong train... Hold on, let me be serious with this topic. If you get onto the wrong train, what do? You get off at the next stop, and you get on the right train to go in the right direction, right? So, if you get on the train, you know, in like New York, right, and you're trying to get to Washington, D.C., and you notice, oh, wait, I'm heading towards, Massachusetts. You can literally get off the next stop in like 1-2 minutes, get onto the train, and head back towards DC. Or just add a few minutes to your trip. If y'all ever get on the wrong bullet train, not only are they fast, but they go on for a long time. You haven't been on... Oh, no, I did. You're right, I did. That was after the rail pass ends. We did use the subway. I didn't get lost in Chicago, but I've been lost in my own city. I want to show you all the length of... Hold on. This is going to be a horrible map, but you can see the length of everything. We were... Let me find a dot. We were currently... roughly... in this location. Alright? We were trying to get to... this area, and to give you a time frame from this area to this area was about 30 minutes. the train we, oop, the train we got on. Obviously, based on the story, you could tell it didn't go this way. It started going this way, and we actually had to talk to the conductor because we're like, we noticed after a certain period of time, it didn't stop and it kept going, and we noticed our GPS was going east instead of west. That thing stopped around here. You know how long of a trip that was? To go from, instead of going here to here, we went this way to catch the train back this way to go the bullet train to go back this way. And the irony of it, the big irony of it was, I think it was either a day or 2 days later, we had to take a train, another bullet train, to get literally over to this spot. Roughly that area. It did not stop there. It did not stop there. It didn't stop there. That was a whole entire journey. There was, oh, no, I wrote notes because there's so much stuff that went on. Hold on. Work contact. Oh. One last story. I'm not gonna share the rest. The rest I'll save for video. One more story. This was, I want to say, an hour after the bathroom shower incident, all right? Because we were in Osaka. Those that don't know, I highly recommend Osaka. Oop. Osaka. It's a big giant city. Think New York. Like, this is Osaka. I got spammed with so many phone calls. And mind you, there's a 14-hour difference between America and here. And the reason I'm sharing this with you all is the phone calls came in at 2 in the morning in Japan. I have my phones on like full ring mode when I'm traveling, just in case my mom or anybody that friends, family that need to reach me that's an emergency. I won't ignore your call. So I leave the full ringer on, and I was spammed called by a random number at 2 in the morning. Time zones, yeah. I learned what happened was my job was panicking. They thought my account was compromised. So they were spam calling me because they thought someone hacked into my account overseas. It was until the day later I messaged. I decided, just for the hell of it, I was like, let me just call them back. I was like, what is this spam call? So I called the number back. It was one of the IT folks in my department saying like, hey, we thought someone hacked your account, so we blocked you from everything. So they put, I don't know IT that well, but they put some kind of thing on my account where every single time I sign on now, I have to do like a double, triple authentication. And now when I returned back to work on Monday, so it's been a week now, this double, triple authentication, because they thought I was getting hacked in Japan, is still there. So every like 10, 15 minutes, I have to re-log into my account. Apparently they did not, Bell. I put in my request. I assumed they would have known, but I guess not. Oh man, there's so many more stories I need to share with you all. But how are you all doing? I feel like I missed a whole entire 3 weeks. I got alerts for, you know, some streams. Like, I know it's Cleo stream. I was not able to go to it though. But there's way more, Brain. There's way more. I need to figure out how to put this into a video. Go for them for doing security measures. Yeah, but it's annoying, Bell. Were you really hacked or were you logging? I was logging in Japan. Because I think from what I understood, Copper, is the second I switch my phone onto data roaming, all my accounts automatically logs in. From my work email to my calendar, for my personal and stuff too. And I think that's what triggered it. Has it been? It's been 3 weeks. I think I only streamed once in February. Granddaughter got a college scholarship to her school of. Hey. Okay. So. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the video yet, the first part of the second trip to Japan is out. I still need to edit the second part. Hold on. Where's that video at? If y'all want to see what my little shenanigans for the first trip, it's where is it? Somewhere in the videos. If you haven't seen it yet, let me know what you think of the editing, because I would like to improve my editing at one point. I will be streaming Stardew Valley with a friend. Hey, Jen! Oh, ooh, what time and what day? Oh, today at 2. I didn't read your first message. 2 p.m. Pacific, so that's now, right? 2 p.m. Wait, that's now. I'm bad at math with timing. I showed your flight video to my husband. He like, hey, thanks, Copper. So, no, wrong time. I'll be on. Hey, all right, Twitch. I need to recheck out Twitch again. I heard a rumor while I was in Japan that a lot of people are going back to Twitch. I'm not sure how accurate that is. It's 8:53 Pacific right now. Oh. You got a few time. You got some minutes. I'll post in Discord. Oh, yay. Thank you. 2 p.m. Pacific is 5 p.m. EST. Oh, perfect. So right after for those that don't play Pokemon Go, it's a Fuecoco day today. So I'll be there after the Fuecoco event. I just stopped watching Twitch entirely. At this point, I'm expecting something related to the Yakuza. Okay, low key, I want to meet somebody from the Yakuza. That didn't happen, but I genuinely want to meet somebody from Yakuza. Because I was going to say, hey, America, hi. I'm putting on my Pokemon. Oh, Copper. Yeah, I got to do that too. No, you don't. They look fun. They got like, those that don't know, in Japan, the Yakuzas tend to have tattoos. So what happens is in public baths stuff, you're not allowed to show your tattoos because of its affiliation with Yakuza. But they have some of the most amazing tattoos, y'all. There are some nuisance streamers in Japan recently. So, can I talk about that for a second? They look fun. I beg your pardon. From like the pictures I've seen. So, I need to show a picture. Yeah, Coral. It's like the tattoo thing, because I changed my mind too much. That's why I never got a tattoo. But I like the art. I pray for your wife. Those that don't know, Japan is currently inundated with a lot of tourists. Because one, their money, the yen, is really weak compared to American dollars and other countries as well. Like, their value of their money is weak. So what happens is it's fairly cheap for any one of us to actually vacation over there. So I'll give you a prime example. We were able to have like a very nice meal that would have costed in America roughly, I want to say for two people, $90 to $100, right? Without tip. We had the same similar value meal in Japan, and we paid, I want to say at least like $25, $30 range for that meal. So that's how weak the Japan yen is. And because of that, a lot of people actually went over to Japan to vacation. I'll do your first someday, Chunk. I'm ticklish, Coral. That's the other thing. Make temporary tattoos, Coral. The ones that'll stay for 3 months, please, I beg. So, the reason I'm sharing this is I'm not sure if everyone has paid attention to the news. And I'm not talking about the political news. I'm talking like the news about Japan with tourists and mainly streamers and content creators. They have turned Japan into a playground. And this was very evident on my third trip. Queen, how are you doing? I am back. This was evident, very evident on my third trip. The amount of no cameras allowed was ridiculously high, and I completely understand them. I know, yeah, Jenny, thanks. Brings those to two. I might look into it. Brings. I love the idea for folks that aren't fully committed to get tattoos yet. So what happened is when you start watching, when I release all the rest of the Japan videos, the ones I'm releasing first are the ones from my second trip. What you're gonna notice is a drastic difference between the second trip and the third trip from the amount of footage I'm gonna have. Just because footage-wise, there were a lot of places I went to that didn't let me record. Put it that way. Those that don't know, what happened is there was a lot of streamers that went around bothering a lot of Japanese folks, like very disrespectful stuff. There was someone that went in around Japan yelling, I forgot what, Jenny and Brings, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here. He went around to some folks in Japan and be like, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Those that don't know, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the places in Japan that was hit by the nuclear bombs from America. And they went around doing that. There was other streamers then going around recording and making like jokes, unruly jokes in Japan too, at their stores. So it almost became a blanket rule between my second trip, which is in 2023, to now, where just about every single store has the no photo sign. So when it comes to the third video, the third trip video I'm going to release, I would definitely address that a lot more because it's very evident. And for everyone visiting Japan, this time I did not, you know how, I'm assuming everyone here has been to like amusement parks or something fun you look forward to as a kid, right? You remember like the first time you went to, let's say, Disney. I never went to Disney, but I'm assuming that's the same feeling. You ever went to Disney and the first time it's like magical, and the second time you're still like, oh, I remember this, I remember that, oh my god, they changed this. And if you keep going to Disney over and over and over, you start realizing certain things. That happened to me this trip. See, this is why I'm a bit Queen. I'll get into it in a bit, but you should still go. Update on that guy. He's in travel lockdown in South Korea, and his first trial did not go. Hey, I'm so happy about that. Jerry, that is happy news. Which sucks for those who will be going to Japan in the future. Yeah, I never went to. Hey, Queen, you and me should go. The rose tinted the rose tinted glasses cleared up really well, and I started noticing a lot of their behavioral changes across the board. So those that don't know, I want to show you all something. You are not going to believe this. I'm assuming everyone here knows New York City, right? Good old New York City. Not from, and I'm not talking from pictures, the real New York City streets. Those that have ever been to New York City, you will know for a fact how dirty the streets are. Like, trash is everywhere. Like, genuinely, if you've never been to New York City, just know that these pictures are not the real New York City. when you go to New York City, you're gonna see rats, giant rats carrying pizza. You're gonna see trash bags everywhere. LA count. I've never been to LA, so I don't know if it's the same for LA. You say that if you behave respectfully and not do anything offensive, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. I've done what Disney. I've seen what Disney adults. Yeah. Hey. How are you, Marshall? How are you doing? Marshall, how are you doing? Thank you for gifting a membership, by the way. Hey, what's to Krista? Hey. It's the same everywhere. Okay. Just gonna imagine LA. So LA has some rough parts too. One day I will go to LA. One day I'll go to Cali. Maybe in the summer. So and New York City is packed. You know where else is packed? Tokyo. And I want to say this about Tokyo specifically. Tokyo, I would want to say, in my opinion, is more busier than New York City. My first trip back in 2016, I think it was, and then my second trip in 2023, every time we went to Tokyo, the streets were spotless. Like, I have no problem sitting down. You're not supposed to, by the way, but I would have no problem sitting down in Tokyo. Like Shibuya Crossing, Yuri, was clean and spotless, right? Brings boycott America. Brings, do your Canadian thing. Boycott America. 1 month? Cleo, we gotta talk. If I were to go to Japan, what place would be the best to go? Ooh, Queen, I got some recommendations, and I'm sure other folks in here do too. I love diagonal crosswalks. Japan has rules against walking around with food they don't eat. We'll get to that in a second. We can do translation for you to make it one-on-one. This time, so between 2023 and 2025, it's not dirty, but I've noticed a lot more garbage. Because here's the one thing for everyone that's never been to Japan. When you go to Japan, please carry a bag with you. Not for shopping, for your trash. One thing that sucks about Japan is that they don't have a lot of trash cans and trash bins. So the first 2 times I went, I would just carry the trash with me, right? But it seems like recently, with all the tourists going on, a lot of folks are treating Japan like it's their home, their own home, in their home country, instead of like their actual country they're visiting and they're guests in that country. So a lot of tourists have just left garbage to the side. And the amount of tourists has become noticeably what's the word? Infringing on the daily life of Japanese. I've noticed a lot of people talking on the trains. That's a big no-no. Usually the trains are quiet. It's yeah, like Cleo said, my rose tinted glasses are off, and I noticed a lot of issues this time, and I think that honestly affected my mood a lot in Japan, because I was getting more where I should be getting happy with some of the trips. I was getting annoyed. I wish I could ask my wife this right now, because I was getting annoyed every single day when I saw a tourist breaking the rules. It was like, oh. So how is it so clean? If you ever need to use the trash, by the way, in Japan, look for the train station. If you go to the bathroom, some of them do have trash in theirs. If you go to 7-Elevens or the convenience stores, which has amazing food and cheap, you can also buy something and then discard the trash in there too. Or just carry the trash with you and bring it back to your hotel room and throw it in their trash receptacle. Angel Kitty, how you doing? Japan seems to be priced off on etiquette and super clean. They are super organized. Oh my god, everything is so precise. We can yes, we can. There's no such thing as respect more. It's. I think honestly they need to limit the amount of tourists that comes in, because there are people I noticed that also took pictures and videos when they shouldn't. And after the staff turned their back, you know, to help out other customers, they would just whip out the camera and phone again and start taking videos and pictures. Ugh. Do they have a rule against slightly clapping in excitement? I'm trying to get rid of that habit. I don't know, Queen. I actually don't know about that rule, to be honest. Many countries in Europe are limiting. I don't blame them. Angel Kitty, how you doing? So, and then just to touch a little bit on politics, on behalf of America to everyone in Canada, Mexico, and Japan, apparently, our president also said something about Japan the other day. I'm so sorry. I just hope in 4 years, regardless of how you feel about politics, that we still have allies in America. I genuinely hope we have allies. I genuinely hope we have allies still in 4 years. That's all I gotta say. Gift. It was fun. And I got stories. If you rewind it back, Gift, if you want, because stream's gonna end in a bit. Rewind it to, I wanna say, after the start screen, give it like a 30-second boost in and just listen to the bathroom story. Yeah, Belle, I think that's been the ongoing message. Even the oh my god, is he the president of? Oh, this is where I'm ignorant. Trudeau, he's the president, right? That's the word. That's the leader thing. Trudeau, he even said our problem, Canada's problem, is not with the people of America. It's with one person. Prime Minister. That's my ignorant self right there. The Prime Minister. The Canadian Prime Minister President. I just got an ad about a pool ball purse. The reasonable people know that Americans doesn't mean you're like that idiot. Like, you can carry your plush and Pokemon cards with you. It looks so cool. Oh, speaking of Pokemon cards. I'll have to show this picture in Discord later. What I did was I took some of my Pokemon cards and I labeled them with Japanese words so I can flash them to those folks I was talking to. So they understood what I was saying in the event Google Translate didn't work. Oh, by the way, one noticeable thing about Japan for everyone that's going there, menus and stuff, everything in Japan have become more technologically advanced than they were back 2 years ago. Every restaurant now has QR codes to order, so you literally just scan the QR code and you order through there. I think we learned here that the United States, America needs to be better with our knowledge of other countries. Yeah, I'm an example. Pokeball purse, I got autograph. Oh, Pokeball. Oh, like it was an actual. Oh, okay. But I met. There was a day I was not with my wife, and she was off doing her own thing. I met a lot of other tourists. Yo, the stuff they shared with me. I watched you gonna stop laughing. Has the East Coast stalled yet? Perry's are doing better. We got above 10. It's starting to stall a little bit. I stood at McDonald's with $500 in my pocket and couldn't get food. QR codes, I'll starve. I think you could. There's certain places you can still order without the QR codes, but QR codes has become predominant. Hey, Gibbs, I'm glad you like the book. I think honestly, this is one of the bigger issues, in my opinion, with America. Is a lot of Americans, when you travel, the bulk of Americans I know, when they travel within state, or if they leave the country, they go to Cancun, which is like a vacation spot in Mexico, right? Or the Caribbean islands. I think a lot of the American population, I wish they would leave the country and truly go to other parts of the world, like Japan, Europe, China, Africa. Just go out and see how those countries operate, because I can only speak for the areas I was raised in America. You're raised to believe America's the best. Everything over here is perfect, right? And if you don't talk to anybody outside the country and you never experience the culture outside, you just assume that, you know, everything we have here, even though it's not perfect, it's better than everywhere else until you travel or you actually talk to other folks. Case in point, one person I talked to, one of the tourists I actually ran into, he's Australian. And he shared with me, apparently in Australia, after you pay your taxes, you actually get an itemized list of where your taxes actually went to towards the government. Like X amount went to, housing, X amount went to medication. I wish we did that. And also, this is where I was really ignorant in Japan. This is me being very ignorant on my end. Iceland was amazing, so different. I've never been to Iceland. I have never been to Europe. I want to go to Europe one day. My issue is that I want to learn more about cultures, but I'm afraid about accidentally messing up. I think it's in a bit of airplanes. Airplanes, I understand. And messing up, it's fine, Queen. I think everyone expects you to mess up. Because this is one thing I noticed about traveling. This has become a rant video at this point. There's one thing I noticed about traveling. When you travel outside to other countries, because I heard the stories from friends that went to Europe and stuff too, people are willing to work with you if you don't know the language. You go to Spain, they speak Spanish over there, they're willing to work with you. You go to Japan, like you don't know Japanese, they're willing to work with you. The reverse is true here in America. If you don't know English, the American thing tends to be you raise your voice, you talk louder, and then sometimes faster or slower, as if doing that will help the person understand English. I used to go with small tour groups when they do when they do speaking for you. Oh, that's actually smart. If you're generally trying to be respectful, people tend to support. Yeah. Oh, and this is where I was ignorant during the trip. This is also when I was by myself. I made the biggest assumption. I forgot the world doesn't revolve around America. Surprise. I made the biggest assumption that every single white person I saw spoke English. I remember looking at this family, and they had something in their hand, and I was like, "Oh, I want that." Let me ask him. I was like, "Hey, excuse me, where'd you get that from?" Him, his two daughters, and the wife just stared at me befuddled. And when they started speaking, I said, "Oh, that's not English." And then that's the reality hit me. I said, "Oh man, I'm so small-minded." Oh man, I will take a train over an airplane in a heartbeat if possible. Oh, same, Queen. Flying is not my cup of tea. I like watching news on public TV just to see their take on what's going on here. BBC. Yes, Mama Cat, I do the same thing. Yeah, that was a genuine accent, but it was hilarious. Because after that was in the earlier part of the trip, I actually started listening to a lot of folks as they walk on by. Man. Marshall, thank you for coming by. We're actually going to be ending shortly. So thank you for coming by, and thank you for gifting the membership. What was I going to say? Okay, more stories next week, but what I plan to do is actually redesign Lost. Not so much for races, because I think we're set with races until the new Animal Crossing game comes out. Also, I got inside scoop about Animal Crossing, kind of. That's gonna be in a video of, because then one thing you will note when the videos do come out, you will notice that I have a difficult time in the second time I went to Japan finding Animal Crossing stuff, and I finally found out in the third video, this trip here, why Animal Crossing is almost non-existent in Japan compared to, if you go to Japan. For those that have been to Japan, you will see Pokemon, you will see Digimon, you will see everything. You will see things from the 90s that aren't even around anymore in terms of merch. But Animal Crossing, that was a whole different story. I was like, outside of the Nintendo store, you couldn't find, spoiler alert, except for one item, you could not find Animal Crossing stuff. Rip Animal Crossing, but maybe some. Oh, Sailor Moon is everywhere, Queen. Like, if you name a brand, a show, it is there. Like everything is there except for Animal Crossing, or is it called in Japan the Butsu no Mori. Inuyasha was there. Yep, everything was there except for Animal Crossing. And I asked one staff using the Google Translate app, going back and forth. I was like, because to share you with the story, because it's gonna take a while for this video to come out. There was a staff. He was selling stickers at a store that I think that they thought we were robbing the place or stealing. There was a store. You know how malls have different levels? There was a store in Tokyo. I think it was in Tokyo or Osaka. It was either Osaka or Tokyo. There was this mall looking thing like this thing here, multiple levels. And I asked one staff, I said, can we just grab things from the different floors and pay one area because it's the same store? And he said yes. And then when we tried leaving the floor to go to the next floor, the alarms blared and everything, and we got flagged down. That's a whole other story. But because of that pause, I had time to just look around the floor, and there was this guy selling stickers. He sold stickers of everything except for Animal Crossing. And that's when I had a very frank conversation with him that went back and forth. I wish it was on video, but I needed my phone to translate, so I couldn't record it. But I found out why Animal Crossing, it's its own unique situation right now with Nintendo. What he shared with me changed my mind completely. I said, wait, I was under the understanding that everything, I'm assuming everything was under Nintendo's control, and it is, right? But I just assumed all of Nintendo's franchises, if, let's say I had a cafe, and I want to do like a Nintendo theme cafe, obviously I'll pay them a royalty, but I'll have access to all their property, right? If I just did a general Nintendo, nothing specific like a Pokemon cafe, but a Nintendo specific cafe, I'll be like, okay, I would like to get Zelda, the Squid game thingy. What's the Squid? Splatoon. But Animal Crossing, it's not part of that package apparently. So I'm not sure if it's like a safeguarded thing. But for those that do go to Japan, I actually suggest you all take a look and see if you can find any Animal Crossing stuff. Sort of like that time, one time I was searching for a Peanuts comic book in Japan. Peanuts is everywhere thing. I would be surprised if one would be there in Japan. What is, I can tell from the picture if I can see it. Oh, I saw this dude. Yeah, there was like a plushie of him at Don Quixote. I saw this at Don Quixote because I was trying to find gifts for friends. Those who don't know, I don't know if I'm gonna spell this right. Don Quixote. If you ever go to Japan, oh man. How do you spell the store? Japan Don. Oh man, how do you spell it? There is. It's not a dollar store. Don Quixote. Yes, Belle. Just once, please go to the store when you go to Japan. You're gonna love it. If you have kids with you, this will be in a video I'm gonna release in the future. If you have kids with you when you're going to Don Quixote, have one adult check the next floor before you take your kids up. There is different Don Quixotes in Japan. Some of them have the 18 plus stuff covered and warning signs. Some places you can wander into the 18 plus by the pure accident. So you have young kids in the future, just have one adult go to the next floor first, just to double check. Yeah, it's a book, but it's also a store. I have no idea what that store is, Queen. Peanuts stuff is easy, but Peanuts comic book in Japan is another store. Oh, really? But see, at least Peanuts was there. Okay, so what I plan to do is next Saturday, we are going to play a little Animal Crossing, redecorate the island for Japan theme, and then eventually I would like to invite other streamers over to play the Deal or No Deal, and they what's the other game we made? Guess Who. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try and craft the stories and get the videos out. Heard about that. I think it may resemble Walmart. Yeah, but huge, Yuri. It's like triple the size of Walmart. Guess Who? Yeah, thanks, Cleo. But to everyone that came out, sorry for a short video. I am beyond jet lagged. This is what I was mentioning earlier. I look young, but I feel old. I have so much trouble this week sleeping. And I still am sleep deprived. I didn't sleep. I think I slept maybe 2 hours last night. And I have stuff to do right now. So I'll catch you all next Saturday. Probably around 10 or 11. It's a story that looks like for all ages, but it gets worse the further back. Yeah, Queen. But next Saturday, I don't think I have anything to work for that day. We'll do a Japan redesign for the island, get it prepped and ready, and get the rules set for the event. I'll work on the game for then. And until then, I'll catch y'all with some more stories next time. Ah, man. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. Miss you all. Truly do. I truly do miss you all. Maybe next time we can also talk a little about politics. I'm not sure if that's going to be I don't know. Maybe. Just because everything going on right now, it's woo, fun times. Take care, y'all. Bye.